my God, today it's been a minute. I want to thank you all so much for adjusting the time. I know I have changed this live so many times. Please believe it's not because I did not want to be here with you guys, but some things have happened. So this is what happened. Thursday, I was supposed to come on 2 hours. This is TIK.Star's fault. TIK.Star is responsible. 2 hours before my live, she's just like, I just got us Cowboy Carter tickets and we have to leave tonight. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, the concert is tomorrow. We have to go. It's going to be a road trip. So I had to change the live to Monday because I knew that once we got there, we were going to like take a nap probably and then like get ready for the concert and go. Like I knew there was going to be no time to do a live for this show on Friday. So that's why I changed it to Monday. Thank you for adjusting. I changed it for Monday. Like 30 minutes before I was supposed to go on, I got really, really sick. Like on the floor, about to vomit. Like it was a mess. Thank God for Mama Star. She was the best nurse ever. But it was really, really, really bad, guys. I am still like trying to recover from yesterday. I am doing so much better now. But it's been a journey. It's been a journey. So thank you all so much for adjusting because there is so much that we have to talk about. I have to do this live with you, and then like so much stuff is happening with Love Island. There's so much to talk about. So I was not here because I did not want to be. There were things that happened and I couldn't be here. So just know it's not because I didn't want to be, it's because I couldn't be, but I am here now and we have so much to talk about. Let's get into it. Oh, did you like the new intro? I'm trying to upgrade us. You know what I mean? I'm going to be spending like a lot more time on this channel and working on this channel because you deserve it. You deserve it. You guys have been rocking with me for forever. You deserve it. So I want to spend a lot of time working on this, upgrading the content. I really have some great things coming up for you guys. Just have to like get those things tightened up. But there's going to be a lot of fun things happening here because, like I said, you guys deserve it, and it's time. A lot of you have been with me for a very long time. I remember one of my Star family was just like, I've been with you since high school, and now I'm in like college to become a doctor. It's time for the upgrade. And there are so many things that I wanted to do, but I've been afraid to do because of like career stuff. And it's my channel. It's time. It is time for the upgrade. So stay tuned. Yes, the podcast is on its way as well, but we just like talked about it and I had no idea how, although it's very easy to do a podcast, it's kind of difficult too. So I'm figuring it out, but August is, I don't know what date, but I do want the podcast to be released in August. So give that time as well. But thank you all so much for sticking with me. Let's get into it. The first thing we're going to talk about is Basketball Wives. I haven't watched Basketball Wives in a very long time because no shade. When I used to review Basketball Wives, it was bringing a different audience to the show, to my channel, that I was just like, yeah, this ain't for me. NikkiStar TV, we're a different kind of channel. And I was like, yeah, no shade. I don't want the riffraff and a rigmarole over here. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to drop that. It was also, the colorism was, just out. Everything was out of order. It was just a really bad show. And I haven't checked out ever since. Then I saw like this viral clip, thanks to Mama Star, of CHRISTIE and her youngest daughter getting into an altercation. And I was just like, you know what? We got to go back to the roots. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about Basketball Wives. Shout out to Tyson, also known as CHRISTIE. Child. I will say this. For those of us who have been there from the beginning with Basketball Wives, this was a long time coming. So CHRISTIE has a child. Wait, what is her father? What is the name of her father? Who's absolutely younger than, like a lot younger than her. Child. Chris Webber. My mom is so messy. She just told me. Thanks, Mama. Chris Webber. So CHRISTIE and Chris Webber have a child together. So this child was allegedly, if you do the math, born out of an affair, right? So her oldest daughter never really got the treatment that her younger siblings received. The siblings from the father, that is Doug Christie, which was Christie's husband. They all received a different kind of treatment than Jackie's first child, that was with Chris Webber, who is significantly younger than her. I was like, Chris Webber? What? Anyway, child, that's the basketball life. So this young lady grew up very differently, and she also was blessed with the skin color of her father. So fortunately for her, she got this beautiful skin color. Unfortunately for her, she was raised in a family full of light-skinned Black people, and she also had a different father. So her upbringing was very different. So by the time Jackie got on this show, her daughter was very vocal about the issues that she had with her mom, to the point where people who did not like Jackie was reaching out to the daughter, Evelyn Lozada. It got really, really messy. The daughter was going online talking about the abuse that she received by way of Jackie. And then they reconciled, and everything got, started to get back together. And then, this whole thing now was happening with the youngest daughter, who also was someone who was very vocal about disliking her older sister along with her mother, and someone who Jackie and this youngest child talked about on the show. So I am not surprised that these two are here. Here's the thing. Although I'm not shocked that this has happened, I have to say, squaring up on your mama is crazy work. And maybe this is my thoughts on it because I have a really great mom and a great relationship with my mother, but squaring up on your mama is crazy. I said, oh, these new Blacks is different. I was like, oh, wow, we're beating up our parents on TV. And can you believe that this is a show of a first lady of a church? We're not going to go there, but I'm like, a first lady executive produces this show. Anyway, but it was just like, so when I saw this clip, I was watching the clip, and Jackie and her daughter, very hostile. Like when the daughter came in, she was very hostile. And the way she was speaking to her mother, extremely hostile. Jackie did not want to talk to her daughter, but it was apparent because she mentioned that the production made her speak to her because they wanted the content. I don't think they expected this kind of content. So while these two are having the conversation about her sister, who does not want to be talked about on the show, it starts to get very violent, vocally. And to the point where Jackie is just like, when she looks at the producer, she's just like, oh, this is what you wanted. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to fight with my daughter. So she gets up, the daughter gets up, goes to her mother and pushes her. Jackie reacts, turns around and smacks the dog piss out of this kid. And now listen, I won't say who's right and who's wrong. I'm saying, had it been me, I wouldn't have pushed Mama Star. And had I pushed her, Mama Star would have had the same reaction. So I thought it was really weird for this to happen. I wasn't surprised. Here is why. Jackie created an environment where her youngest daughter felt very comfortable speaking to her as if they are equals, as if they are girlfriends, and speaking to her about her older sister in a very poor manner. She created this violent, negative environment concerning her oldest child that her youngest daughter felt very comfortable disparaging her sister in a certain way. Now, those of you who watch the show, can y'all let me know, was she taking up for her sister? Because it seems like those two probably reconciled, and now she's just like, she doesn't need to be talked about on this show. And that probably could be because her mother created such a negative environment for them that once she got older and established a relationship with her sister, she found out that a lot of things were not true. Let me know if that is what's happening, Star Family, because I no longer watch Basketball Wives, but I was there for was there for when Jackie brought her daughter on the show, and the way she would discuss things with her child, especially the older sister. So I'm absolutely not surprised that this is the environment that this happened, because of the environment, unfortunately, that Jackie created. She created this this explosive and defensive and very negative environment concerning her children, and it all stems from lies and deceit. And when you spend so much time lying and trying to cover all these bases, and children are involved, this is what's going to happen, because the kids that grew up in that environment are going to react in the way that they were raised in that environment. So I don't know why she was necessarily shocked, because she cultivated an environment and raised this child in an environment to do those things. And I guess she was okay when her daughter was speaking that way and doing those things to her older sister. Never thought that it would turn around and come back on her. Very, very unfortunate, but you get back what you put out. You get back what you put out. So that's all I wanted to say about this. Let me know, what are your thoughts, Star Family? And let me know, for those of you who are still watching the show, was this due to the fact that the youngest is reconnecting with the oldest, or was it something else? Let's get into the comments. We're going to talk for about 5 minutes, and we got to get into another subject. Let me set my timer right now. Child, on basketball streets is messy. I said, her father is Chris who? Not Chris Awapa. Tyra Banks' boyfriend. Do y'all remember that? They were a power couple, and then he cheated, and Tyra said peace. All right, let's go. Star Family. Woo! Megan said, hey, y'all, I've been ready for this live since last week. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Mel Ron said, hey, Love Island is the gift that keeps on giving. Oh, also forgive me. If you notice, I was in my Love Island live. That's why I'm late here, because I was in Love Island. Forgive me. My mom was like, what's going on? Had my mom not said anything, I would have never known. Eva Empathy said, it had to be bad if everyone, including Ariana, unfollowed him. I can't even imagine what would trigger all of this. Child, we're going to talk about it. Mel Ron said, yes, everyone, this is talk about Kenny. Everyone unfollow him. The only thing I can think of is Kenny pulling a Caleb and Justine. Oh, what happened with that? Let's talk about it in tonight's live. Megan said, a production begins to phase him out like Sierra was phased out. It's something horrible. It has to be. But we'll talk about it tonight. Let me get the Basketball Wives comments. NC said, hey, Nikki in chat, I'm seated. And when we get to Miami, I will be an active participant and probably even the ringleader. Julia is dragging this season. She surely is. Mel said, I don't watch any of these shows, but I'm curious to know about Chantel and Jackie's situation. Me too. Spency said, hi, NikkiStar and fam. I'm shook by Janae and Kenny. We all are, child. Simply Simone said, the Love Island universe is in shambles. It absolutely is. I am also production said, I haven't been here for a live in a while. Well, thank you. Thank you. What is going on? Love Island needs to let me rest. Mari said, I want to run over there and back Gertie up. Me too. All the black girls do. All the black girls do. Hey, Mama Star. Mama Star said, hi, Star family. I hope all is well with you. Good night, and thank you for hanging out with NikkiStar. Thank you all for being here. Like, that was the only thing. I don't talk about Basketball Wives, but I was like, we have to talk about that, because that's crazy. Crazy. Thank you, Mel. I'm trying. The NNH said, hey, Nikki and Star fan, Basketball Wives is a whole mess. A mess. Let me know what's going on. Hey, Mari, thank you so much. Thank you so much. E for Empathy says, hey, y'all, let's welcome Nikki with some likes and shares. Yes, let's get the likes up. Oh, wait, hold on. If y'all liked, I'm working on a little something else too. So let's see how this goes. Oh, there it is. There it is. Let's get the likes up. Thank you, Seth, and thank you so much for your Cash App. I totally appreciate it. For some reason, I think Cash App updated, so I can't like or respond to any of the donations. But I just, since you're here, I just want to say thank you so much. I totally appreciate it. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you so much. Right? Literally right after that concert. Just a mess. A whole mess. Alicia said, I missed you in the Star fam, or I can't forget Mama Star. Hey, beautiful mama. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Peyton said, hey, Nikki and Star fam, I'm about to head back to work, but I just wanted to say I love Alondria's classy comeback to 404. Absolutely. Durga said, happy you're feeling better, sis. Excited you got to see Faye. Yes, she's amazing. She's inspired. Like, she is one of the reasons I have like all this new stuff going on. I said the level that Beyonce is working at, I gotta do that and harder, not just for myself, but for the Star fam. So I'm trying, and we will keep growing. Thank you, Spency. Nisha said, hey, 5 minutes late. Thank you. Did an early live. Thank you, Nikki. I have a hard time staying up. Love you on the Star family. Thank you. I am trying my best. The only reason why some of these lives are late is because, you know, I'm still working. So even tomorrow, another live is going to be a little late. I'm going to try to keep as many in the afternoon as I can, but you know, the day is for Hollywood. Thank you, Mel. She's here. She's here. Listen, we're gonna get them in, Pink Petals. We're gonna get them in. It's coming. It is coming. Alicia said, girl, I started watching you when my girl was 5, I think. She's 13 going on 14. Y'all been here a while. It's time. It's time. Oh, great idea, Spency. And thank you so much, because that's exactly what's going to happen. I love you. Thank you for that. Eva Empathy said, hey, Nikki, maybe consider a Discord server for the fam. Don't want to add too much to your plate, though. I have a Discord. I don't know how to work it. So maybe somebody can help me. It's confusing. And Auntie is confused. Auntie is confused. Hannah said, I refuse to watch after OG. Same thing. I was out right after OG. Real classy based over here. Real classy based over here. No riffraff. It was changing that crowd. And I said, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Heard around the world. Heard around the world. Toche said, love me some Jackie. Listen, the way she swung that thing around, I said, Jackie. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. Oh, don't worry. Love Island is tonight, 6 p.m. PST. Oh, so yeah. Okay, so my mom knows all the tea. So the daughter was conceived. Okay. Okay. No, the oldest daughter, her oldest child, I do not know her name. I think Chantel is the youngest. The oldest daughter is Chris Webber's child. Hannah said Chantel took the story of her sister Takari, yes, childhood, to appear like she was mistreated. And he just seems so normal. I don't know how all of this is happening. Yes, talking about Takari. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My Mama Star says Chantel said their grandmother raised them because Jackie was out on the road with Doug. Well, she did say that. She didn't say that she wasn't there raising the kids, but she did say everywhere Doug went, she was there. Social Steph said I would discuss it by both of them, and Jackie is the root of that problem. Yep. Durga said, yes, blessed to have an amazing mom. I would never, like, ever. Hannah said, Takari said Chantel was saying colorist remarks to her. Chantel is a younger Jackie. Listen, we all remember when Chantel was on the show talking about her sister with her mother. And I remember watching it like, this is not going to go well. This is not going to go well. Especially involving the youngest in issues and situations that she was not even born there to see and experience. And then a child born out of adultery. That little girl felt some things as a child. And now she's a woman dealing with all of this. Jen said, Chris Webber said the young lady isn't his though. So that could be an I thought that he confirmed it. But we're going to say allegedly. Allegedly. Yeah. But, you know, TV fame, Pink Petals TV fame gets it every time. The way people will bring their family drama on TV is insane. Hey, Miss Brown Sugar, thank you for being here. Oh, absolutely, Nello. Absolutely agree. Social Steph said this level of dysfunction doesn't happen overnight. All her kids called her by her first name. You know, I stay out of them rich people Hollywood streets. They have different standards. Give Me Shelter said, I thought I missed the live. Hey, Nikki.Star, Mama Star and Star fam. You didn't. What happened was I was in my Love Island live. I was in the wrong live. So don't worry. I started Love Island too early, but I switched it back to the right time. NC says, squaring up on your black mama. I clutched my pearls. I thought that only happens in white homes. Josie said, first ladies are always messy and nasty, so it tracks that one is producing basketball wives, child. And she'll never have her kids in that environment. AI says Chantel seems to want Jackie's life, and she has this Eve Bayous type behavior with Doug. I don't get it. Very, very weird. Okay, so Social Stuff said Chris Webber said that Takari isn't his. Yikes. Poor Takari. F. Chinny said 2 out of 3 kids say you're a bad mom. You're a bad mom. Mama Star said, Chantel said, Jackie said, oh. Okay, well, we're getting a little deep here. Hannah said she really thought Jackie was the one to get violent. It was just weird. But honestly, it was something built up. Like she's been wanting to do that because Jackie walked away and she walked after her mom because she wanted this confrontation. She wanted to get violent. And I'm just like, what else happened? Because it can't just be this situation. Zora says, it's sad, but an iconic day when a mother and daughter play out their dysfunctional relationship on reality TV. Memes galore and endless commentary for content creators. Cynical? Who? Me? Zora also said it was terrible. Their relationship must have deteriorated since they were a duo defending each other. And that is the thing. Their relationship probably has always been so sour, but you know how when enemies link up against a common enemy? That's what it seemed like it was. Hannah said, nope, Takari and Chantel don't talk. Chantel went as far as lying on her and saying Takari touched her. Lord. Pink Petal said, Chantel came on the show with a vengeance. Very sad to see. Yes, something else was brewing for them to get to this point. Megan said, Takari chastised Chantel for pushing Jackie, which is surprising. I saw that too. Because Takari doesn't, or at least didn't, like Jackie. So it seems like now they're working things out, and now those two are going to get close. And Jackie has to fix this. She is the mom. She has to fix this dysfunction. Social Stuff said Jackie spent so much time running behind Doug, making sure he wasn't cheating on her on the road, and left them kids to be raised by their grandma. Child. Do you remember, I won't say everybody, but remember being a basketball wife was like the thing to be back in the day? And then Shawnee dropped this show and everybody was just like, yeah, I'm good. Oh, Lord. The end of the age says Chantel and Takari apparently no longer talk. Feels like Jackie pitted her. That's what it did feel like. Back then, she was pitting the daughters against each other. Remember when Evelyn read that book? Child, and she was crying. And she was like reading the book on TV and crying when she got to the part where Jackie allegedly abused Takari. Zora said, apparently Jackie's priority has been gatekeeping Doug and keeping the floozies away. What a terrible way to live your life. So Stuff said, and now that I live in Seattle, oh, I love Seattle. Well, I love the pictures. And knowing Jackie is from here makes a lot of sense. Sorry, Black people born and raised here. We're okay. So Steph. Always Prices said, basketball wives is too much for me. Not surprised Chantel pushed her mother, and not surprised that Jackie's reflex. Yeah. Durga said it's because Chantel told Jackie not to interfere with her issues and relationships with the women. Then Chantel got into it with Brandy, and Jackie didn't go wild as ass. It grew into this. I think you're right, Durga. Alicia said, now Molly was on there talking about how Jackie abused her. Molly. Are you calling that for Molly Wop? abused her and had her scared her whole life. Jackie tried hard not to talk about Molly the whole season. No, you didn't miss it. You didn't miss the Love Island Live. I started it too early. So I deleted that live and I created a new one. It is tonight at 6 p.m. Do not worry, guys. We are going to get into it. Okay, thank you for empathy. Thank you so much. Now, you guys, I'm sorry, guys. This is reality TV chat. They're gonna have a Love Island chat tonight. I should have changed it to Bravo chat. That's what I'll do. I'll change it to Bravo chat. CM said the difference is Sakari wrote a book and moved on. They started healing their issues. Chantel kept picking at Jackie for nothing because probably Chantel feels like me and you was buddy when it was against her. Now that you and her have mended fences and gotten close, now you just dropped me. But it's just like it's an environment that she created, so she has to take control of that. Now, oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. You did not miss the Love Island Live. I am more than Love Island. It's tonight. Do not worry. Do not worry. Thank you so much, Christina, for the super chat. Oh, Lord. Christina said, love you. Also, I'm free for the next 80 minutes if you want to do it now, or are you doing a super live? It's absolutely chaos. That's okay. It is tonight. Thank you so much, Christina. And I'm absolutely glad I waited to do this Love Island Live because so much stuff has happened since then. Elsavina said, Nikki, I'm so happy that you're live. I literally just thought of you and came to your channel and you're here. Oh, this made my day as I broke my... I am so sorry, Elsavina. I am so sorry. And you know what? I want to say this. A class action lawsuit is coming for e-bike because not too long ago, I was watching a video about how dangerous they are. So I hope you get a good payout because those bikes are not safe. I'm so sorry. Please rest up and heal up. Godspeed. The NNH said, and Doug is just a ghost throughout because both ladies use him against each other. But never appears to show. It's weird. It's weird. CM said, but Jackie was so close, but Chantel was still close to Jackie until recently. Jackie didn't want her on the show because Shawnee and Evil wanted to get her off the show and do her like Tammy. I honestly think Basketball Wives has been on its last legs. It's absolutely time for it to be over. It's time. Hey, Biba T, thank you for being here. I'm going to get two more and then we're going to get into, I want to do Orange County because I want to end with Miami. Melron said, yeah, that sounds just like Jackie is the problem. If your kids hate you, then that's on you. Ciao. Give Me Shelter said, I lost the love of my life, my mom this month, and you all have literally helped me cope, all of you. Give Me Shelter, thank you so much. I'm so sorry about the loss of your mom. I'm thankful that we were able to give you some joy throughout that time. And this is why I continue to always come on here, no matter what, because I know that this is a community and that it means so much to me, but it also means so much to you guys. So thank you so much for being here. Give Me Shelter. Jasmine said, hey, Nikki, the way people leave these e-bikes on sidewalks, it's a mess. It is not safe. Let's get into the Real Housewives of Orange County. So here's the thing with the Real Housewives of Orange County. We got a huge dilemma with this show. And the dilemma is it's Katie's season, right? It is absolutely Katie's season to be harassed, right? Like every woman on the show gets their moment to be hazed and harassed by everybody on the show. Unfortunately for Katie, she is the only minority. She's the only Asian person on that show. So everybody coming at her is not a good look, right? Unfortunately for her, however, Katie is somebody, and I always say this to people from marginalized communities and minorities. You have to know that when you put yourself in white spaces, you're just going to be the target. Unfortunately, there are far too many white people who are raised to see non-white people as the enemy. So you are always, when you do that, you are always putting yourself in an unsafe environment. And it's like, I don't know how many of your people have to tell you that that is just not the way to go for you to finally get it. But it's just like, girl, if I were Katie and they asked me to be on the show, I would have been like, is there going to be another Asian on the show? Are we going to get like another person of color? Because I'm not going to be the only one. Like we need to diverse it completely because it just doesn't look well for her. And unfortunately, she is messy. I gotta say, Katie is messy and she lies a lot. So these ladies are going to link up, and this is the thing that they do on these housewife shows. They absolutely go after the new person, and they absolutely go after somebody that's different. Remember, I think it was Bronwyn. Remember when Bronwyn came on the show and decided that she was gay? This isn't funny, but my God, today. They were like, gay? They got her all the way together, and it didn't help that Bronwyn was a mess. So it was just like the harassment that she absolutely received because she was gay was somehow justified because she was such a mess. And that's what's happening with Katie. Because it's like, Katie, we absolutely know that these ladies are going after you because you are different. However, mama, you are not helping the situation by lying all the time and being messy. So in this season, this is the season for Katie to be hazed. Wrong timing, bad timing for Katie to be hazed, but they do this to all of the new girls. First things first, Katie needs to realize Gina was never your friend. Gina was never your friend. Gina is a friend to privilege. Emily learned that the hard way. Gina is a friend to privilege. She is a friend to the richest person in the room because she's the poorest person in the room. So she is only going to be friends to the people who have money. Right now, you don't have as much money as the mother girls because even though you're married to a dude with money, they do not see you as having any capital because you're Asian. That is just the truth of America. Welcome, right? So you need to realize that and finally kick it in gear. Katie, for some reason, keeps on trying to hold on to this friendship with Gina when Jen is right there. And maybe you don't want to be with Jen because she gets evicted every season and she likes dating gangsters. But at least she has been a friend to you. And Katie does not want to accept this friendship from Jen for some reason. She drops it every time and tries to run after Gina, who continues to put her in positions for her to be hazed by the cast. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, I will say this. Is Katie messy? Yes. Does she lie a lot? Yes. However, she has done nothing different than anybody else. For Emily to sit up there and act like Katie is doing something so horrible. White children, they always weaponize them kids that are being raised by nannies. They always bring up the children when it's never about the children. It's just that you want to use this to harm someone and are hiding behind your kids so that they cannot attack back. And that's what Katie is doing. Katie's not going to attack back because Emily is saying it's her kids. So Katie's going to sit there and cry and apologize. And I'm like, you have to stand up to them. But I feel like this is an environment she's always grown up with. And then we also have to understand that this is a woman who has survived domestic violence. And for Emily, after she made her feel so low by saying she didn't have custody of her kids, and Katie was just like, I didn't have custody of my kids because I was in a women's shelter for abused women. And he went to the courts and said that I did not have my kids in a safe environment. So he was granted custody. Keep in mind, not only is the man violent, he's richer than her and has more status and capital. So as a woman and as a lawyer, Emily should have known that. So then to come on this show and bully this girl who has talked about not only being abused, but because of the abuse that she has endured, she shuts down when people start yelling or when people are coming after her because it is her trauma response to what has happened to her. Does it excuse her being messy? Absolutely not. But if the woman expressed her triggers and told you all why she reacts the way she does, Why do y'all continue to bully her and come at her? And I'm thankful that Shannon tried to protect her and was just like, listen, I don't like everybody coming at her all at once because that's what y'all did to me and I didn't like it, so she's protecting her. Unfortunately for Katie, the girls don't like her and got Shannon to be against her because Katie sent a video of Shannon spazzing out to her husband. Now, why did Katie do that? Because Katie's messy. Because she also sent the video to Alexis. Here's the thing. Shannon was absolutely on her side. Am I going to side with Shannon in this one? Absolutely. Because sending that video to Alexis while Shannon was in an active lawsuit with Alexis, I wouldn't talk to her either. I wouldn't talk to her either because Shannon had to settle and pay that man $60,000 for a facelift. That to me was clearly a gift, but for whatever reason, he had receipts and it didn't work out. I can absolutely agree with Shannon being mad at Katie over that. However, for Shannon to act like this is the worst thing that has ever happened to her on this show, I don't think so. Tamra has done worse to you and you continue to be her friend. However, I got to give it to Shannon. She's standing her ground with Tamra, who's acting like a victim this season and also using Teddy's sickness for sympathy. Just not a good person. Just not a good person. So back to Katie. She's lost Shannon because of that video that she sent to Alexis. Shannon has every right to be mad at her. Katie, hold on. Shannon will chill and you guys will be friends again. But Katie right now is on the outskirts of the group. She doesn't know how to stand up for herself. She gets triggered by this group beating up on her and like bullying her. So she shuts down. She's spending the rest of the time apologizing. She has a friend in Jen who will fight for her. She pushes Jen aside, throws her under the bus, and continues to run after Gina, who keeps on putting her in the firing line with this group. It sucks for her, but she has to find her legs on this show. She has to realize, yes, you are an Asian woman who is married to a white man with prominence. That does not matter to those women. If anything, they're going to dislike you more because they feel like you have a white man that should have been for one of them. You're going to have to clock in and realize who you are and where you are, and you are going to have to stand up for yourself and stop burning every bridge that is built for you through the friendships. Like Jen is a good friend to have on your side because Jen came into this season guns blazing. Tamra and Eddie lied on her husband and she said, absolutely not. That's not what's going to happen. And not only am I not going to let Tamra play in my face, I'm going to get her greatest enemy, Gretchen. Hello, Gretchen. Gretchen came back on this show with a vengeance, ready to fight, ready to spread all of Tamra's tea, and is not taking an apology laying down. She came on this show. She didn't need the money. She came on this show just to go after Tamra. That's why Tamra keep on crying in all of her confessionals, because she knows Gretchen not playing with her. And Tamra keeps on trying to get everybody on their side. Gretchen does not care. Any opportunity that Gretchen gets, she brings up everything that Tamra did to her. Good. Because Tamra has been harassing her for 14 years. And she said, I finally got my orange. Let's go. And Tamra can't take because Gretchen is not backing down. Because Gretchen doesn't want to be a friend with her. That's the thing. Tamra can do that to Shannon because Shannon constantly wants to build a friendship with her and work on their friendship. Tamra and Gretchen ain't never been friends, right? They've always been cordial coworkers, but they ain't never been friends. And now that Gretchen is on the show and she does not want to be friends with Tamra, she just wants to set the record straight. Tamra can't, she doesn't know how to navigate that relationship because Gretchen wants to remain enemies. She don't want to be that woman's friend. She has no need for her to be her friend. So now Tamra is crying, using Teddy's sickness and just being like, oh my goodness, I'm going through so much. Gretchen don't care. Because Gretchen was like, when Slade's son was sick with cancer and passing away, you were harassing us and telling lies on him, calling him a deadbeat. So you're not going to use that on me. Ah! She is not playing with her. And Tamara can't take. I hate to say it, but it was time. It was time for somebody to come on this show and stand up to Tamara and not allow her antics to get in the way. Gretchen is not allowing any of Tamara's antics to misdirect her. She's staying right on target. And we needed somebody like that. Finally on this show. We needed somebody like that. So she is a great addition. She is a great addition. I will say this though, Gretchen, you started off your confessional with saying, I look the same and no plastic surgery. There's been a nip and tuck, but it's okay. It's Orange County. Everybody gets nipped and tucked. You still look great, but, and can I just say, I'm one of the people, Gretchen, who did not believe that you and Slade were a thing. Don't blame Tamara for that. I didn't believe it either. I could not believe that you guys were a thing, but they have now been engaged for like what, 14 years? So ghetto. They have been engaged for 14 years and they have a little daughter. So these two are the real deal. The real deal. Gretchen was like, they talked about my relationship, but we the only ones still standing. And not only is she still with Slade, she's still taking care of him. Not my problem, not my business or my problem. But I will say this, Orange County, so far so good. It's growing on me. In the beginning, I was just like, I don't feel like it. Then Gretchen showed up and I'm like, okay, well now we got a party. Now we got a party. I will say this. I need the team that I will like is Jen and Gretchen. I will say Katie, but Katie needs to get a backbone first. If they could link up, I feel like we could get something. I feel like we can get something because Jen and Gretchen, they are just on the season to wreck Tamara's world, and they do not care. I don't know if Shannon can get on that team just because Shannon just flip-flops so much with Tamara. She is holding her ground, but she flip-flops so much with that lady. So I am not sure, but I'm here for it. I feel like this season is getting a bit better. You know, Emily is still being harassed by her husband, also known as Rumpelstiltskin. Gina, you know, thankfully she got a house that can fit her and her man's kindergarten that they have. Heather is still decorating ugly, expensive homes and no longer lives in Orange County. Andy, please just put the woman on Beverly Hills. She doesn't live in Orange County. She lives in Beverly Hills. Why are we lying and acting like she still lives here? Her kids don't go to school in Beverly Hills. She owns no property. Her kids don't go to school in Orange County. They all go to school in Beverly Hills, or they're in college in New York. She owns no property in Orange County. So why is Heather filming like she lives there? We only see Heather when she's doing a lunch with somebody because we can never meet at her home because she doesn't live in Orange County. Move Heather to Beverly Hills and let's get somebody else. Let's get another Asian woman on the show. I've been saying it that it makes no sense that Orange County doesn't have an Asian woman or a Mexican woman on that show. They are the majority. Whites are the minority in Orange County. It is a huge Latino and Asian community in Orange County. Why are they not the majority of the cast? It's beyond time. Please replace Heather with a Mexican woman with some money. Please do not let her be a Trump supporter. They will cancel this show quicker than anything else. There was a restaurant, and they found out one of the girls was a Trump supporter that owned the restaurant, her dad. They found out that she was a Trump supporter. The Mexicans closed that location within a week. They are not playing. If we do get a Mexican girl, child, she got to be a liberal. If we can't get a Mexican liberal, then don't do it because they're going to get rid of this show. They are engaged, and they are not playing. That's all I have to say about Orange County. What do you guys have to say? I want to put on my timer. And then after this, we're going to get into Atlanta. Adios, míos. What is going on with Atlanta? Let's start the timer. Let's start the timer. Hannah said, what is going on with the housewife franchises. And almost all of the franchises, there's a mistreatment of Black women and a minority. Remember, guys, we talked about this, and I'm going to talk about this in another video. But when this all happened, again, this all happened because of 2020, George Floyd. George Floyd was murdered by that killer cop. And all of a sudden, everybody, every network, every company, all of a sudden loved Black people and were fighting for Black people. So they decided that, to show how much that we care about the Black community, we're going to throw a Black on our white shows, right? Or we're going to diversify the shows. That's how we got Katie, and I forget the other girl. What is her name? She was on Beverly Hills, Asian girl, who is like such a freaking millennial. She did not show up like that on the show, but I forget her name. But that's when they decided, the shows are too white. We got to diversify them. All of that is being pulled back now. But at that time, they were like, the shows are too white. We have to diversify them. So they were just throwing a Black or Asian woman in the most racist environment ever. We have to realize, right? I'm going to give white people this. Not all of them are racist, right? Enough that there's a problem. The whites that everybody really needs to be concerned about and scared of and keeping their eye on is them wealthy ones. Wealthy whites are the ones who owned, raped, and slaughtered enslaved Africans. Those are the ones who instilled that, put that stain on America, right? So it is not working class whites. It is not poor whites. It is not even the middle ones, right? It is those wealthy ones that are the most dangerous ones ever. So to put a non-white in these very rich white societies by design is extremely dangerous, because nobody holds them accountable. Nobody makes them be better because they're rich. They don't have to be. They can be awful because they're rich and will not lose anything. Them poor ones, they get them consequences, right? They can be racist and they can do whatever they want. And they can say all this. They're going to lose their job. Now they're about to lose all their benefits. Racism is costly for them. Now they're about to have kids that they did not want. Racism is costly for them. It is not costly for the wealthy. So these environments that are white by design don't want those Black or Asian or Mexican women in those positions. But unfortunately for those Black and Asian and Mexican women and minority women and trans women, they think that their money can erase their identity and be accepted into those spaces. And it does not work. So here we have Katie, who gorgeous. Dare I say, the baddest chick on that show, right? She is put in an environment of women, or in a circle by her rich white husband. Those women don't want her there. They don't think she deserves a spot. They don't think that she deserves their spot, right? So, and she also came through the brokest white woman in that community. So they don't respect her because of her identity, and they don't respect her because of how she got in the group. She wasn't even good enough to come through the richest one in the group. So that's how they're looking at her, right? They look down on her because of her identity and because of how she got into the group, and because they think that she took a man from them that a white woman was worthy of. So she's dealing with all of those things, but I feel like, she's been in this environment for so long, she's kind of used to it. And that is the thing. When people from marginalized communities or Black or people of color get in these environments, they don't shake the environment up because they're just so thankful to be in it. They'll accept all the degradation that it takes to get there, because to them, being in the room is enough. And they thrive on being the only one in the room because they don't want to have any kind of competition. So they accept all of that abuse just to be accepted. So for us, we're looking like, Katie, say something. Katie, fight back. But for people like Katie, this is normal. This is like what she has to endure in these spaces. And so she's able to take it. And she'll cry or she'll break down, but she won't do anything different. She will never call any one of them on the carpet. Remember, she tried that with Heather, and that group said, absolutely not. Know your place. Know your place. But we're going to constantly deal with this, and it's going to get worse because of the administration that we are under now. So all of these companies and networks, they feel safe. That's how we got the Love Island that we got, because they feel safe now with their racism. They feel safe now with their misogyny, because now we're in an environment and we're in an America that praises that poor behavior. So when it happened, when the diversifying happened, it was a different America. It's a new America now. And not a new America, old America is back. We're in Jim Crow America. So all of this stuff is acceptable. And these ladies feel more comfortable and confident doing this now because they know that they will not receive the same scrutiny that they would have received had this been 2020. We're going to see more of this, and it's just going to get worse. Zora said, OC leaves me repulsed. These women, especially Tamara, Gina, and Shannon, they're squawking, self-righteous hens. I hope Katie sees her role as an acting gig. Otherwise, what the hell? It's sad, but she put herself in that environment. Give me shelter to say, yeah, I'm not watching the Real Housewives of Orange County either, because the gang ups against one are too much. Didn't Shannon record someone a few seasons back? Well, it does not matter, because now not only is it the new girl, it's the Asian girl that's doing it. So they feel very comfortable. Also, because unfortunately in America, Asian people, even if they don't see themselves as this way, they are seen as a model minority. And the model minority means people who will shut up and take it. People who won't upset the room, right? So some Asian people might feel special and be like, oh, white people will choose me. White people with status will choose me to be in the space. But they're choosing you to be in the space because they're not threatened by you. They don't feel like you will make this environment equal. They feel like you will take the scraps and less. So Asian racism, especially coming from whites who feel that way, is normalized because it is expected for Asian people to not fight back. Now, with the Black person, they're going to be a bit more cautious because of our history, right? And even if they don't know what kind of Black the person is, they're always like, people are afraid of the Black community because we come out and we do what we have to do. We understand our power, and we tap into that when it's time. We will go to war for our people. So we might not be invited into the rooms until we're tested and tried by them to see how safe we actually are. But an Asian person, because historically in America, how they are viewed, will absolutely be grandfathered into that community because they do not think that they will change the environment. They just think that these people will shut up and take it. And some Asian people will see it as a compliment. Others will not. So they're going to go a little hard at Katie because they do not expect her to do anything different, because this isn't the first Asian person that they've treated like this. Naturel said, I thought she only showed it to Alexis and it was a voice recording, not a video. It was, well, this is the thing. Katie is lying. So Katie is saying it was just a voice recording and I sent it to my husband. And then Tamara sat down with the ladies. Now, I will say this, Tamara's a liar as well. So who knows? Tamara said it was a video and she showed it to Alexis at lunch. Oh, always has been the real villain. Because, and here's another thing. The reason why Tamara does not want to go to war with Gretchen is because all Gretchen has to say is, remember, Tamara, when you told your son to get me drunk and take advantage of me to show the world the whore that I am. So Tamara knows that Gretchen got some clips in the chamber that could mess her up. So she don't want to play with her. She don't want to play with her. Eva Empathy said, we love messy housewives. So I'm not too upset with Katie. Me either. She's giving us a show. I can understand Shannon being mad, but this isn't the worst thing, not by a mile at all. But again, they can over-exaggerate the situation for two reasons, because she's new and because she's Asian. Will Small says, has a biological father named Jerry Lee Martinez. Jackie Christie and Jerry Lee Martinez has had a relationship before Jackie. Oh, is this about Takari? Is that her father? Jerry Lee Martinez. Okay. NC said the optics of them going after Katie are horrendous. Absolutely agree. Surprised they don't have more self-awareness, but this is Trump's America. Yep. I guess they can get away with it. And that is exactly why they are doing it. CM also said, Gretchen said, you played with my stepson and tried to get me touched. I'm going to get you. She is not playing with her. I said, now we got a season. Now we got a season. Gretchen just came to this show for revenge. She don't care about the cameras. She don't care about them other girls. She was sitting there at this Katie's event and just everybody talking. And she said, well, Tamara, remember, she's right. She's ready. She is ready for her. And Jen is eating it up. Give Me Shelter said, I don't like Slade, but her going after him after his child died is awful. Agreed. She acts like he owed her child support. I really dislike that girl. But listen, she also gets afraid when people come after her for the thing that she's rightfully done. Now she don't want to be anywhere with Jen's husband. You lied on him and said he was raided by the FBI. Yes, he's going to sue you. Absolutely. Absolutely, he's going to sue you. BY said, Tamara has so many skeletons. I recall that party. Yep. Heather, Hannah said, Heather won't be the head of the group in BH because the ladies there are richer. Something she hates. Well, here's the thing. I get that, but we got to do something. She doesn't live there. Like, she literally lives away. First of all, Beverly Hills, because I want to do it right now. I want to do it right now to see how far that is. Two hours and 23 minutes. No traffic. With traffic, Beverly Hills is always traffic. With traffic, that has to be like a 3.5, maybe 4 hour trip. It is a damn road trip for Heather to get to Orange County to film. She does not live there. She might as well live in another state. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, she is half Mexican. She is also out of her damn mind. We do not need that nut job on the show. She got to go somewhere. It doesn't make any sense. But listen, I get that she's going to be a small fish in a big pond in Beverly Hills, but we got to figure something out. She's holding a spot for somebody. She doesn't live in Beverly Hills. She doesn't live in Orange County. So why is she filming? It doesn't make sense. Miss Lou said, as someone who lives in Santa Ana, we have so many Latinos here. It doesn't make any sense we don't have a Mexican person on this show. It doesn't make any sense. NC said, Nikki, in your expert opinion, thank you. Why is Gina still on the show? Year after year, I find my confused by her participation in Bravo renewing her contract. The only explanation that I can think of, cheap labor. I wouldn't necessarily say cheap labor. I would say that she fulfills the casting of the broke young housewife. That is how these shows started. These shows were a knockoff, a reality TV show knockoff of Desperate Housewives. So you always have to have a younger, broke housewife on the show. So Gina fulfills that position. Now, if they find somebody younger and broker and, more spicy, then they'll probably replace Gina. But as for right now, she fills a casting role that this show requires. Give Me Shelter said these shows are revealing how much white women don't like Asian and Latino women. Is it just me who sees that they are more comfortable with Black women than them on some level, in my opinion? They're not more comfortable with Black women. They're afraid of the retaliation from the Black community with Black women. They are not afraid of the retaliation from the Latino and the Asian community, unfortunately, because they do not see them as threats, because it appears, it may not be true for all, but it appears as the Asian and Latino community are comfortable with less. They are comfortable with not being equal to whites. So they are accepted more in spaces. And although Asian and Latino people are just like, oh, it's because, and they leave us alone, because they like us. They don't leave you alone because they like you. They leave you alone because they know that you will be comfortable with less. that you won't demand equality, you won't demand change. Your communities have yet to show that. Now, what's happening now? Listen, the Latino community is waking up. It's that. So maybe it's just because I live in LA, but they are not staying quiet on this. And maybe that will change the dynamic of how they are treated in America. Who knows? But I know for my community, they don't play with us because we don't play about us. So it's not that they're more comfortable, they're afraid of Black people. Always Prices said, also, these people who voted against their own interests and are feeling the effects are looking for someone to take their frustration out on, which historically is Black women. No lies told. No lies told. Let me get two more and then let's move on to Atlanta. Dare Show Podcast said, I'm late, but Basketball Wives got Nikki out of retirement, child. The smack that was heard across the globe. Oh, Gretchen is waiting. Tamara better shut up. Tamara better shut up. They packed Noella up because of Heather. If Heather liked Noella, she would still be there. She would still be there. Let's move on to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I am very concerned for this show. Very, very concerned for this show. I don't know if it's going to be around much longer. We have to be honest. This was a terrible season. They're having a casting problem. The reunion was so unnecessary. The reunion was so dry. They spent about 5 minutes on Shamia trying to expose Drew for carrying a fake Judith Lieber bag, only for Judith Lieber to say, that is our bag. And for Drew to post receipts on her Instagram story that she actually bought a Judith Lieber bag. I like Shamia. I thought she had a great debut. Unfortunately, throughout the season, she just fell so bad to the point where I'm not interested in seeing her next season because she's doing this thing where she's the wealthiest girl in the room and she's trying to look down on people and trying to make it seem like, oh, the girls aren't as rich as me and us rich girls do it a certain way. She doesn't realize that doesn't work with the Black community watching the show, especially the Black American community watching the show. That don't work with us. We don't do, you can have money and we will love that. But the looking down on other Black people because they don't have the money that you have, that doesn't work for us because we know why so many Black people do not have wealth. It's not for lack of trying. So for you to shame Black people for the economic hardships that we are forced to live in and forced to endure because we literally have a government and a community that is 61% of the population that actively works against us, it's not a good look for you. So to shame other women for not having the same amount of money that you have, that you got by way of a man, is not a flex. We love seeing a Black woman pulling up in a Rolls Royce, but then to look down as all the other Black people are peasants, like they didn't do what you did or work as hard as you did, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So while I did enjoy her at the beginning of the show, because the season was based around her, she fell very flat for me, and especially in the reunion. And this reunion just proved that she's a liar. There were so many receipts coming out back and forth, especially between Portia. Portia brought out all the receipts. Portia's just like, you said I didn't come to your wedding. I did. Shamia's like, oh no, that's a different part. But Portia's just like, you knew why I couldn't come. And I told you that I wasn't feeling well. You knew that. So then to say to these women that I'm not coming because me and you are beefing is just not true. But you're saying these things to get sympathy. And I think what happened is, and we talked about it, Shamia has issues with Portia. She's had issues with Portia for years. And instead of talking to Portia, she talks to everybody in the group and hopes that everybody in the group will go bring it back to Portia and force Portia to be the one to go to Shamia and fix it. You guys are in your 40s. Nobody's fixing your situation for you. You have to do it. But she's just not used to confronting Porsha for whatever reason. So throughout this entire reunion, Porsha is bringing up receipts and she's just like, you are not telling the truth. And it's very apparent that she's not. She's trying to paint this narrative. She's trying to, in my opinion, she just did too much. I don't think that Shamea needed to do all that she all that she did. I felt like we liked her in the beginning. She had a really good run with the audience, and then like this flip of the switch with her and Porsha. And I feel like what happened with her is what happens with so many of these housewives. They start listening to the fans. And a lot of your fans you should not listen to, because your fans do not see you as human. They see you as a character. They see you as one of their Sims. They see you as somebody who is there to entertain them and make them feel better about themselves, especially for housewives. A lot of these people also do not realize that housewives was basically mocking the rich. And so they think that they're being put on a pedestal, but they do not realize that the only reason why these shows are successful is because the poor and working class communities who are watching these shows are getting a kick out of watching the other side, the other half of America, the 1% of America have terrible lives, so that we can turn up that TV and go, well, I don't have her money, but at least I don't have her life. That's what it is. Like, this show only works if your life looks terrible with all of that money. They're thinking, oh, everybody's watching me because I'm rich and because I'm that girl and everybody want to be me. No, the audience is going, thank God I'm not you. And they don't get that. So she's listening to this audience, sacrificing her friendships, bringing up issues that your friend has clearly said she does not want spoken about on the show, to appease an audience who does not see you as human. And now she's in a situation where now the moms are beefing. Their moms, who have always been beefing, they've ignited a new beef, talking about the situation. And Andy is just like, well, listen, let's talk about it. Let's have the conversation, because you keep on bringing it up. Like, what is going on with both of your moms? Neither one of them want to bring it up. Porsha said that Shamea's mother bought a business that her mother wanted. And listen, friends and money a lot of times do not mix well. So I can absolutely see that happening. But then Shamea says it's something else. And it's like, if we're not going to talk about the something else, let's not talk about the situation at all. If they both come back on the show, they need to work on that friendship off the show and don't bring the drama to the show. Because if you bring the drama to the show, if you bring the world into your business, you got to let the world know everything. And that's something that if they're not ready to do, they shouldn't do it. So I am disappointed in how she ended the season. And also to not only have Porsha be justified by her receipts, but to also have Andy justifying her by Porsha saying, because Shamea says, oh, you didn't want me on the show. And Porsha looks at Andy and says, Andy, haven't I been asking you to put her on the show? And Andy's like, yeah, she's been asking for a while. Like, it was just everything that she said just fell flat. Nothing worked for her. And it's just unfortunate because she started so strong and just fell so fast, unfortunately for her. Well, listen, she does take notes. She does work on herself. So hopefully if she comes back, she takes some notes and she works on herself and she's in a much better position. I don't think, Shamea, you should be getting in the mess. If you do come back next season, don't get in mess. Don't fight for Porsha. Fix that friendship before you get on the show. But if anybody's saying anything about Porsha, just be like, well, you know, that's my friend. I'll remove myself from the conversation. Don't add into the conversation. Don't bring a bone back to Porsha, because, again, you are exposed for bringing back a bone that wasn't even accurate about Drew. And you ended with, well, I'm on my business from now on. And Drew goes, well, you should. Well, you should, because you blew that situation out of proportion. And now you and Porsha, Shamea, are on the outskirts, but Drew and Porsha have now made up. Now, the people that you wanted to beef with each other are besties, and you and your bestie are on the outskirts. That's not the role that you should play on this show. You need to be the mother, the voice of reason, the one that everybody use that big home to be a retreat for these women. That's the role that you should be in. You should just be the mother of the group who has really nice things and a loving husband. Messy Shamia doesn't work for you. Snobbish Shamia doesn't work for you. Carrying a bone Shamia doesn't work for you. Mother of the group, the glue of the group, the one always trying to keep the sisterhood of the group. That's who you need to be. That position will work so much well for you moving forward. A man will always embarrass you, won't he? A man will always embarrass you. So the hot dog king of Atlanta gets on here, and Portia had this beef with Drew the entire season over him, all for him to get up there and say what Portia said that he said to her about Drew never happened, never was said. And Portia goes, oh, so, okay, well, he's lying. A man will always embarrass you. He said, no, that never happened. That wasn't said. And she's still going to sleep with him. That's the problem. And we're not being honest here. And again, I told you, this is why I don't date men with kids. I don't date men with kids unless that first baby mama is no longer on this planet and it wasn't by his hands. Because that first baby mama is always going to have his heart. That relationship is always going to be complicated. No matter how much he loves you, you will never be that first baby mama. So I don't get involved. And Portia and Dennis, clear example. There's clearly something still going on. She's clearly jealous of any woman that gets into his presence. Why is that? When my father got married, my mom rejoiced because she thought that would get that man away from her. Didn't work. Didn't work. The first baby mama is so powerful. Only Christ could break up that connection. So she still got something going on with this man, especially for him to sit up on that show and say, well, now that Portia's single, who knows? Something could happen. The only reason why they are not out with their relationship is because his mother hates Portia because she tried to assault her when Portia had her show. The only reason why they're not together is because of his mother. Outwardly, privately, they're a couple. Oh, they're playing house with PJ. And even after he embarrassed her on the show, she's still going to stay with him. Spent the whole season hating on Drew, all for him to come on his show and sit behind you and say it never happened. Woo! Portia. Sad, 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 sad. But I will say she did get vindicated with the situation with Shamia. Because Andy said she'd been trying to get that girl on the show. She's been trying her hardest. And I will go as far as to say that Shamia heard that from Candy, that Portia didn't want her on the show. Because Shamia was so adamant that Portia didn't want her on the show. And Andy said she's been asking. She was really going to bat for you to be on the show. And I do believe Portia. I believe that she really wanted. Why wouldn't she want to have an ally on the show? So you were vindicated there. But Dennis played in your face, my dear. Dennis played in your face. I hate the way her ex treats her. I hate the way that he lies about her. This is a thing, women. This is why you can never date beneath you. You can never date, marry, or entertain a man beneath you. I know everyone's just like, oh, I want to try a different type. I don't want to go. No, always aim high. Always aim high. So at least if it doesn't work out, at least you got to get up under something fine and wealthy. Always aim high. Because for Ralph to just sit there and lie on this woman and embarrass her to the point where he just annoys her. Like she's so annoyed every time he speaks because he's obviously lying about everything. Even when she talked about how they showed that video of them like working it out or whatever, or, for the kids and him feeding her. And then she says, well, he goes right on after that. He goes right to the internet and says that, I was trying to sleep with him, just embarrassing her. And she's just like, I was just doing that for our kids. Stop doing stuff for the kids. If you have to make yourself miserable so that your kids can be happy, that's not the solution. Your kids are going to be in a happy environment if you're happy. If you're not happy, the kids are not going to be happy. Stop doing stuff for the kids. Get away from that man. And the thing about it is, she will never be able to get rid of Ralph because she has children with him. And also, he will never let her go because she is his relevance. She is the reason why we know his name. And he knows that. And he will never stop talking about her. And he will never stop pulling on her heartstrings, which is her children. He will continue to use the kids as a way to get her to be in a relationship with him. Some kind of, even if it's platonic, he will continue to use that as a way to get under her skin or keep her attached to him, because without her, he fades. He fades into the distance. She's his relevance. And the sad thing is, her mama told her. Her mother told her. That's why he never liked that mother, because the mother told her who he was from jump. Say what you want. The moms be right, y'all. The moms be right. There's not really much to say about Waffles. I wouldn't mind seeing her next season, but this reunion, it wasn't much going on with her. She tried to be messy. Everything fell flat. It didn't work. This was so sad to see, especially when that husband came out, because he tried to embarrass the ladies and say, oh, where's your husband? I'm the only husband here. And what a terrible husband you are. Like, this woman has made her entire identity about that man. And it's all, y'all want to say this thing about my husband. But what do y'all have? No, because you were trying to disparage my husband. Ain't no way she is an 80s baby. No, this is not an 80s baby. I rebuke it. I don't believe it. An 80s baby? No way. She's giving mama's family. No way. No way. But the sad part about it is she spent the entire season talking about her husband and defending her husband, right? Even in the passing of her mom, she's still defending him. And you're like, oh, it's so sad that, my mom never made up with him. Your mom was mad at him because of how he treated you. You make your whole identity about this man that does not treat you well. And you're going through all of this, fighting and cussing all these women out. Only if you stay on this show long enough for you to come back to these women and apologize. And say, well, I was going through a lot of stuff in my marriage and I couldn't tell any. I hate when women do that. I hate when women do that. You look down on other women, you make it my man. I got this and y'all don't have this. And y'all going through hell in your relationships, all for the relationship to fall apart. And then you want to come back to the sisterhood and apologize. And they accept you back in. Y'all got to start giving these broads consequences. No, I don't forgive you. You were terrible to me. No, I don't want you back in the sisterhood. Find another sisterhood. No, we're not going to lick your wounds. After we told you, tried to protect you, and you told us what we saw was not what we were seeing. Phaedra is sitting there saying, it isn't me. Andy doesn't even believe this. The boss is just like, no, her spot was secure. She didn't need to start up no beef with you. Her spot was secure. Her spot was so secure, they cast her on both shows. 2 shows. That's how secure her spot is. Andy's just like, she didn't do it. She did not do it because she needed a position with you. Nobody believes this mess but you. You're the only one who believes that June Bug was paid by Phaedra to embarrass you for what? She didn't even know who you were. It does not make sense. No way would this girl who's in 2 contracts with Bravo would mess up those contracts. And they paid her big money. No way she would screw that up just to take a dig at a woman she's never met. And her brother, she called her brother on the spot. Didn't even prepare him. Called him on the spot, told her, you're at the reunion, you're on speakerphone. Do you know this girl? He says, no, I don't know. Oh, that's your brother. He's going to protect you. It's like that Phaedra made up this rumor and paid this guy to come on this show and disparage her marriage, and she doesn't believe anything else. She's not going to believe anything else. And it's ridiculous. And it's just like, it's so upsetting and embarrassing because we all know what's coming. We've seen it so many times with these housewives, especially the ones that are so protective over their terrible husbands. They can do no wrong. And it's like, okay, 1 season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons, 4, we're going to see a different Angela. Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have never did that, but I was going through so much in my marriage. They all do it. It's so embarrassing. Why make your identity about a man who is dead set on embarrassing you? You should have made this entire season about how much you are a powerhouse. Even if the house is foreclosed, even if you would have seen it as a failure, you were able to get back up from that. That's what women should have been watching you do. But instead, it was all about Charles and his attitude problem. My God, you even had to calm him down. Charles, stop. Stop, Charles. Now, Charles, stop. Can't believe she's an 80s baby. OMG. You grew up with the Reading Rainbow? This lady bumped a Brandy CD. This freaking boomer. Maybe it's the old husband making you old. I don't know, but I am gagged. But it's just so, what a disappointing season as well. I don't want to see any of them back. I will say this though. Kenya, she's been popping her gums. Because Kenya's going through a lot right now. She's suing her landlord because she said she's not paying rent because they're trying to evict her, but she's not paying rent because she improved their tenant improvement something. She's supposed to get like $80,000 back from improving this property. The landlord doesn't want to give her the money back, the money to do that. And because he's not giving her the money from that she invested in improve this property, she doesn't want to pay the rent. So the landlord is trying to evict her from the property. So she goes on live because her business is being spread, and she just decides to start dropping some tea because she was informed that she will not be coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Don't know if it's indefinitely, but as of right now, she will not be coming back. So let's hear it from Kenya in Kenya's words.
The upcoming Brooklyn, I go out of the room with that and shut the door, honey. So I do know that they're adding 2 new housewives to the team. They're adding 2 new housewives, and I think you guys kind of know them both. They're both like known people. One is a business person and she's a restaurateur, and the other one is actually, you know how we always say, oh, you know, it's giving Love and Hip Hop. The other one is actually from Love and Hip Hop. So yeah, there's that. There's that. Know some tea.
So allegedly, the women who are, Bravo has not confirmed this. The women who are alleged to be coming back to be the new cast members of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. First one is K. Michelle. Here is what I will say about this. I hope to God it's true. I hope to God it's true. Here's the thing: K Michelle has a really big following. She has proved time and time again that she is great for reality TV. She also has a budding country music career, and I think she's in a different place. I don't know if she will be violent. I'm hoping that she won't be violent, but I do know that she will be messy and she fears no one. So I think that she is absolutely going to be a great addition for this show, just because we have seen her and we know that she will give a good show. I'm hoping that there won't be, I think that she has learned her lesson throughout reality TV, and I don't think that she will come on here, shaking tables, trying to fight people, but I do think that she will give us a show. And I do think that she will elevate herself. I think that she has elevated herself in certain ways. I knew Kenya was trying to, give a little read that one is loving hip hop, but this is K Michelle. She's going to give a show. So I'm absolutely fine with that, just as long as she doesn't take it there that she has been known to take it to on Love and Hip Hop. I will absolutely be fine with her coming to the show, because I know that she will give a show. We have seen it on Love and Hip Hop. She made Love and Hip Hop very, very popular. I just hope that it doesn't get nasty. I hope that she, comes in like, a lady who lunch. And, also because she's trying to do the country music career, I think that she will hold herself a certain way and won't get in the mud, because this is not a show to get in the mud. This isn't a get in the mud show. You got to kind of, rise above your haters, as Candy says. So I'm hoping that that is the route that she would take, but I am interested to see her on the show. I would have never thought about casting her for this show, but since it being alleged, I'm fine with that. And the other one is Pinky Cole. Pinky Cole, she owns Slut something. Vegan slut, slutty vegan. Yes. The food's delicious. The fries are a little too salty, but the food's delicious. The food is delicious. I think she's going to be a great addition to the show. She is a multimillionaire, a business owner. I hope that she holds herself a certain way. I've seen a couple of interviews, so I'm like, I don't know. But I think she would be a good addition to the show as well. She also has a husband or a boyfriend who she's invested in some restaurants with him in Atlanta. He's a bit messy. So that relationship is going to be very interesting to see. So I'm not sure if it'll be good for business for her, but she has been in some legal troubles and has had some issues. So this Bravo check and this Bravo audience would be good for her. But I'm not mad at it. Alleged. It's all alleged. We don't know. Kenya talked a lot more in that live. I just only showed like a quick little clip of that. But if we're not going to get Kenya, I'm fine with getting K Michelle and Pinky Cole. That's all I had to say about Real Housewives of Atlanta. I want to get a couple comments, and then we're going to end with Miami. So let's oh my God, so much. Tonight is going to be messy. Tonight is going to be messy. We got a super chat. Obviously me, thank you for the super chat. Obviously me said, will there be a call-in show for the live today? I think we need to. I think it needs to be a call-in show. I feel that I don't have enough money for what I got to say. Yeah, it's going to be a call-in show. My God, today. Obviously me, thank you for a super chat. Obviously me also said, one thing I will say about this Kana fallout is that this should not be a let's humble the dark-skinned Black woman for dating a Dominican man. Oh, it won't. It absolutely won't. But my God, today, so much is happening. Love Island, take me out the group chat. This is too much. This is too much. Oh my gosh. Real bad. Real bad. Real bad. Unique says Shamia was cool until she started talking about Portia behind her back with the women that she wasn't getting along with at the time. Shamia always makes friends with her best friend's enemy. weird. And it's very, very weird. I'm not mad about K Michelle. I think we got to take K Michelle out of Love and Hip Hop, which she has been out of for a very long time. We're thinking of, oh, she's shaking the table, K Michelle. This is country music's, bleaching K Michelle, because K Michelle, when did you become a rare bone? Anyway, I'm not mad at it. Well, we all said that this was turning into Love and Hip Hop, so here we go. Here we go. Hannah said, I'm glad K Michelle will be on the show. She is funny, not unsecured, and can stand against anybody. Yep, she fears no one. Great woman to be on TV. CM said they need to get rid of Portia and Phaedra, have Shamia and Drew beef, Kelly with fun events, Angela being Angela, and add a few others. Here's the thing. I don't think they can hold the show without Phaedra and Portia. That's the only thing. Shamia, Kelly, and Angela, I don't think they can hold the show. I don't think they could hold a show. Mari said, I'm a bit behind and need to watch part 3 of the reunion. You don't. It wasn't worth it. But her Charles was the MVP. Like, he had a little one-liner, but it's just like, I feel like him and Angela are doing too much. Nobody cares about this marriage. Nobody cares. They're doing entirely too much. NC said, Andy's hosting is trash. I don't care if he's bored, lazy, or just becoming incompetent at his job. The way he tells people to move on in the middle of trying to resolve something and never digs deeper is terrible. They desperately need a new host. I got that. CM said, Shamia better than me because I would have said, let's discuss why Diane lost the business. Let's discuss how comfortable you felt throwing me under the bus about Candy. Child, they have a lot of stuff to get through. And I don't think this show is the best way to do it. Pink Petal said, I thought she was going to be the breakout star. Angela took that crown. I won't necessarily give Angela the crown because I felt like Angela had good moments, but she spent so much time on her husband. It just fell flat. It felt that she was supposed to be the glue. You are right. Hey, Opulent, thank you for being here. He played her. He absolutely played her. Unique said, Dennis set up there and lied like a rug on the floor. And Portia said nothing. Okay, yeah. So you're gonna lie? Okay, he's lying. That's it. I hate that. Because if it was something with Drew, she would have gotten to the paint with her, call her everything. You're even screaming at your best friend. But when it comes to a man, you mute. Ugh. CM said, Portia did that to herself. Portia wanted to get rid of Drew because it was an easy storyline. She was just jealous of another woman spending time with him. A woman, I guess because Dennis cheated on her while she was pregnant, he has a wandering eye. So any woman that is in his presence, she feels some sort of way. And instead of just moving on and not being with this guy, she continues to put herself in that position. It's very, very weird. NC said, the reunion sucked. Did you see his stories all occurred off camera, online, or were between the moms? No question answered, nothing resolved. Did we ever get an answer of how old Charles? Angela says some stuff. She tried to drag Wendy Williams. I'm just like, you're dragging Wendy Williams, but even Charles said that if she didn't have a cat, he would have went over her house and had a drink and did something else. And she was like, Charles, what's this talking about? You would have went over Wendy, how? Even if she didn't have a cat. Charles, what are you talking? He said, I would have went over there and I would have had some wine and I would have been balls deep in Wendy Williams. That's why you better stop making your life about that marriage. Because what did that man do? Embarrass you. You tried to embarrass Wendy Williams and he embarrassed you. Yikes. 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 Unique said Portia didn't want anyone filming with Dennis. However, they said on Portia's YouTube that he had a girlfriend that she liked and Dennis effed it up. Oh Lord. She is. She is. Hey KG, thank you for being here. Yes, guys, make sure. Oh, let me put on my new like. Make sure you like the video. Lord, it is so much going on. The RRI said, what I despise about Ralph is how things that he did for her mother. He talked about it on TV. He was trying to hurt her socially and legally. How are Portia and Shamia okay with him? Well, they set that up to hurt Drew, only for that to backfire. Ridiculous. Mari said, not sure how much longer I could deal with Dennis and Ralph getting their friend up spots. But then again, people say none of them are actually housewives, so I'm torn. LOL. It is their messy ex-life, so true. All Day Finesse said, child, the group chat messages have been leaked. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. 6 p.m. can't come fast enough. Pink Petal said, I don't understand why Charles being out of Madison Square Garden made him cheat or made them have to live in separate homes. Something else has happened. I'm telling you, the way she's protecting this man in this marriage, it is not what she's putting on. It is not. Here's the thing. I can't read all of them because there's a lot of comments and I got another show to talk about. Please, y'all, any tea y'all got, send it to my Instagram so I can get it together for tonight's live. DIY Bell said, Phaedra is a documented liar. 2, she has never denied it. Her immediate response was, what about your houses being in foreclosure? Charles might be cheating, but Phaedra might also be lying. Phaedra is a well-documented liar. I don't think she's a dummy. I don't think she is a dummy. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see who comes on the show. Monique said, K. Michelle will eat Portia alive, but I have a feeling Portia is going to try to get in her good graces. If she does, smart. F. Titty said, I don't know, Nikki. In her famous words, she's from Memphis. They jump gates. But again, she's in her country music era, y'all. I think she's going to be good. Santino said, if K. Michelle joins, Phaedra going to have to watch her mouth, LOL. Phaedra can't handle her. Yeah. But I think we're going to get a different K. Michelle. Drewski said, instead of actual K. Michelle, they should have gotten Dubai K. Michelle. They might. You see her and Kelly getting it. Kelly got a smart mouth. K. Michelle got a smart mouth too. We'll see. But yeah, Spencer, she's great TV. She is. She's great TV. We'll see. But it's all alleged. Mari said, I'm excited to see the new ladies. I'd also be okay if they included Quad in the mix. Hopefully they do. Hey, Nico said, hey, Nikki, watching from my study abroad trip in Sydney, Australia. Awesome. I hope you're having a great time. I'm jealous. I want to be in Sydney, Australia. Let me get one more and then I'm getting into Miami. Miss Gigi said Ralph is a snake oil salesman. Yikes. The way they're cheering for him after he said all the right things, he is so fake. Absolutely. Hannah said, Kelly praising Ralph pissed me off so much. She was in a domestic violence situation with that ex-husband of hers. It's just, they're saying that he's just a great father, but I'm like, how are you a great father if you're tormenting your kid's mother? How? Blue Jay said, I do think it's funny that Kenya tried to shade and got the housewife internet inflamed. Like, you know what? Hell yeah. Listen, I think she's going to be even messier now that she knows she's not coming back and she's going through financial trauma. She's going to be messier. Why not? What? Monetize off of this situation. She got to get some coin. She has to get some coin. Mama Star said, Quad is running Heavenly's campaign. She doesn't have time for the housewife. Thank you, Mom. Let's end with the Real Housewives of Miami. honestly, we're not going to do a review of the Real Housewives of Miami. I'm just going to talk about this subject. And the subject that I want to talk about is how awful. Let me bring her up. Let me bring her up. Where is it? Oh my gosh, I don't have her picture. We're going to talk about it right now. Next time I'll bring it up. I want to talk about Gertie for a second. Gertie is a woman who is currently surviving cancer. She has yet to have received any kindness from the women on this show. Even when she announced it, Larsa made it about her. Completely victimized herself against Gertie. Nobody cared. They made her cancer about them. No one was there for that woman except for Dr. Nicole, who is no longer on the show. Now we have this season. She has survived cancer, and she is, happy that she's here to see another day, only for none of these women to care and for them to mistreat her and villainize her. She was assaulted by Julia. Julia threw a drink on her because she was so upset with Gertie because Gertie told the ladies that Julia begged for her to come on this cruise, and Julia mistreated her. Julia has been through so much on this show, literally bullied by Alexia and Marisol, mistreated by the women. Gertie has stood 10 toes down for her, Gertie and Adriana. And in any given moment, Julia threw the both of the women who were really good friends our way, especially Gertie. She got so upset with Gertie. Nothing from what Marisol did to her, nothing from what Alexia was a ringleader. Nothing about what Alexia did to her got her to this point. But because Gertie said that she was lying to the women about the cruise, Julia was angry enough to throw a drink on Gertie, and all the women just looked at Gertie, dripped in water, and gasped, said nothing, never told Julia that she was wrong. Marisol left that event saying that they were both wrong. Gertie broke down because she was humiliated and embarrassed. Kiki. Do I at least have Kiki's picture? I got Kiki's. I don't have Gertie's. Kiki, a Black woman. We got to be honest here, Star Family. We talk real. An immigrant, a Black immigrant, right? First gen, Haitian woman. Refused to stand. I think Gertie's Haitian as well. Refused to stand with her Haitian sister and back the white women, the women who think that they are white. They're finding out now that they are not. Back them and saying that Gertie was wrong. What's happening with Kiki is that she is putting the financial status and the identity of the women on the show who believe that they are white. She is putting that over her sisterhood that she has with Gertie. And this happens with a lot of Black immigrants, she doesn't identify or see herself as Black. She will identify as an immigrant first before she identifies as Black, because she thinks that immigrant is a step up from Blackness. What she does not realize is that she is a Black immigrant. So I'm just being very honest here. There is not an American on this soil that would trade places or want to be in the position of an immigrant or somebody first gen, especially now because of what's happening with this administration. But even before that, Americans just have a better life. We are just treated better. We have more opportunities being born here. As a Black American who has been here for 500 plus years, even though I am someone who is the descendants of enslaved Africans, I would never trade places with an American immigrant or somebody who was first gen because of how this nation treats them. But for some reason, in the mind of many Black immigrants, they would rather identify as an immigrant other than identifying as Black, because they feel like as identifying as Black, it's like Black American. Is that, and because of whatever xenophobia that they have learned, they think that those people are beneath them, not realizing that choosing to identify as an immigrant, right? Making that your sole identity, not saying that that is not who you are, but making that your sole identity in how you identify and how you vote is very foolish, right? Because you're identifying as an immigrant and you're identifying as a Black immigrant. So you are putting yourself at the very bottom in America. But for some reason, a lot of them have got it twisted where they rather identify as immigrant and saying, or, you know, their cultural identity, nothing wrong with that. But in America is set up, it's a gang territory, right? So America is set up in gangs. So when you come here, no matter how you identify, it's what you look like, right? So you got to find your gang and rep your set. First gens like Kiki, they didn't get that memo. So she's seeing what's happening with another Black woman, another Haitian woman, and she is trying to both sides the situation, even though she knows it's not a both sides situation. Because what's going to happen is she's going to be next. Why is she going to be next? Because she allowed it to happen to another Black woman. So they notice that she will not protect another Black woman. So they already know, again, like we talked about before with Katie, they already know they got her. She's a safe one. That one right there, Gertie, ain't the safe one. She's the one that's going to speak up. She's the one that sees herself as equal. She's a threat. And they're treating her like a threat. And Kiki don't want to be treated like a threat. So she's going to stand behind the woman and say, oh, well, they were both wrong. She's safe. Gertie is not. And that is why they are having two totally different experiences. So while Gertie was humiliated, all of the ladies tried to both sides of the situation because they knew them being filmed, they couldn't just side with Julia. So they had to both sides the situation. So everybody's like, oh, they were both wrong. They both need to apologize. Julia and Gertie said they're going to let it go. There's a narcissist event held by the biggest narcissist, which is Alexia. They hold the event. Julia brings up that there is somebody in the group that she wants to work on a relationship with, but this person is mean and they won't let stuff go and they're trying to move forward, but this person has issues. And then Gertie chimes in and says, well, how can you move on with someone that assaulted you? And she kept on saying it and she did not let go. And I applauded her for that. Because I said, yes, stand up for yourself. You're going to have to, because they're going to keep on picking on you and bulldozing you until you stand up for yourself. So they had that narcissist event. And then, Gertie and Julia are not cool, right? They hadn't been cool from the beginning. Gertie was trying to move on. Julia sent the text message to apologize. And then she brought up the situation with Gertie at that boat that they were on, where she assaulted Gertie. And Gertie is just like, I can't move on with somebody who assaulted me. So she wants to check me and wants me to move on and wants me to do all of these things, but she has not checked her behavior or what she did to me. So now we're back to ground zero with these two. Then we have Gertie's celebration of life event. Julia makes the celebration of life event about her. Well, I'm coming to this event because she wants to move forward, but if she doesn't want to move forward, I'll go. This woman got Black kids. My God, today. My God, today. And let's stick a pin in that. And it's not lost on me that Julia brought up this whole mess with Karamo being her really good friend while she's introducing her to the two Black sons that she adopted. Right after she assaulted that Black woman. You're not slick. You know how it's going to look. So you want to throw these Black kids in our faces and say, oh no, I can't be racist. I'm raising two Black boys. And also I have this big Black gay friend. So it can't be me being racist towards her. Then why the hell did you decide to use violence with Gertie? After everything that Alexia did to you, you decided that Gertie was the one that you could get violent with. You did it with her because she was a Black woman and you knew that there would be no consequences to you harming her. So please excuse me if I'm a little afraid that you are raising two young Black men who will grow up, two young Black boys who will grow up to be Black men. Excuse me if I'm a little afraid of you raising them because of how you treat Black women. My God, today, what are you going to do when them boys start growing up tall and their voices get a little deep and they have a different opinion of a situation that you have? And the one time that they say no, how in the hell are you going to react? Are the cops going to get called? Are you going to return to sender? Very concerned for those two young Black boys in that woman's presence. And Martina, who don't want to be nobody's pappy. But you're forcing her because the pets ain't enough. You can't get enough goats. So now you got to get two Black kids. And also, knowing that this is America, I'm a little concerned why they decided that you were the one to get two Black children, because we all know that the American foster system throws away every child, especially Black children. And you mean to tell me this rich white couple that they had available, they didn't have no white kid to give you? They decided to give you two Black boys? I want to know if you asked for them or they decided you were so unfit they gave you Black children, because that's what the foster system does. So I'm a little concerned about those boys being raised in that home. F that money. How are those Black boys going to turn out? We all know how transracial adoptions work in America. Too many stories for me to feel like that's a safe environment for them. Anyway, so Gertie decides to have a celebration of life event. Because she kicked cancer and she just wants to celebrate. And she's just like, she feels she's strong. She's a warrior. She beat this thing. So she wants to have this event to celebrate herself. Julia gets there and she goes to talk to Russell. Oh, did Gertie tell you about the situation? And Russell's just like, no, everything's cool. Like, first of all, Russell don't play about his woman. And he's lucky that and Julia's lucky that he even talked to her, because he don't play about Gertie. Especially after he felt like he was about to lose his woman. He don't play about, that's his world. He don't play about her. He gave Julia 2 words and he went on about his business. So then Gertie has this entire event. During the event, she talks to Russell and she's just like, I don't like what Julia did, so I'm going to use this moment to say my piece. I will say this. I think that it was inappropriate for Gertie to show private text messages at her celebration of life event. I felt like it took away from the event. I felt like that wasn't the place to have it, but this is a reality TV show and they are encouraged to do things like this. If it were me, I would have had the ladies over and I would have shown the text messages to everybody. I would have handled it differently, but I'm not Gertie and that ain't my business. So she decided to handle it the way she handled it. I don't necessarily agree, but again, it ain't my business. It ain't my situation. Julia ain't throw water on me. I would have been off the show if Julia threw water on me, because I would have thrown her off the ship. So I would have been off the show and I probably would have been in prison. Anyway, so Gertie decides halfway through this celebration of life event, Gertie decides to show the text messages. And in the text messages shows that she was not begging to be on this trip. Julia told the story that Gertie begged to be on the trip. And what Gertie is saying, that Gertie begged to be on the trip, and she acted, irresponsibly. Gertie is saying she begged me to come on the trip because Martina couldn't come. And then when I come on the trip, she treats me like a servant. Like, we're all going to dinner. She tells me I can't come to dinner because the girl didn't want me to come to the dinner. If you bring me to an event and somebody says I can't come, then you're not going to the dinner. We're going to go eat somewhere else. But Julia still decided to go to the dinner while Gertie was left off the reservations because girl ain't want Gertie to sit at her table. So Julie, if we start digging into the issues, you really don't want none of this stuff to be brought up, which is why I think she's allegedly leaving the show. Because right now she got them 2 Black sons, and if she has any racism allegations, it will become a liability for her. So she don't want to play with that. But she was so happy to let everybody know that she adopted 2 Black boys. And everybody's, oh, you're going to be such a great mother. Y'all saw her with damn goats. How the hell is she going to be a great mother to 2 black boys? Well, you see how she treats a black woman that gets under her skin. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, so Gertie shows the text messages. Here is my issue. While I'm still Team Gertie. All the ladies, oh my, oh, that's so horrible. I can't believe that's nasty, Marisol. That's the worst thing I ever seen. You were literally sitting across from Gertie when Julia threw a drink on her face, drenched that woman. And her showing text messages is the worst thing you've ever seen. They all acted like it was a violation and they all left. Even Larsa, who literally tormented Lisa while her father was dying. All of a sudden, that was too much for her. She couldn't believe it. Oh, this is the wrong thing for Gertie to do. How could she do it? None of y'all stood up for that lady when Julia assaulted her. But now, this is too far. And all I want to say to all the ladies is, why is what Gertie did so offensive and so bad, but not what Julia did? Quickly, answer me. Why does Julia deserve your grace and Gertie does not? What is so different about them? Answer me quickly. Y'all can't. Y'all can't. So now all of them are acting like Gertie is such a bad person and they decide to leave. And Gertie's like, okay. Marisol tries to come to Gertie and chastise her and be like, oh, Marisol, what you did? What's up? And Marisol and Gertie's just like, all right, bye. Thank you. It's okay. It's okay. She does not care anymore because this is what happens, right? You get to a point when you're dealing with micro aggressions and racism and bigotry, you get to a point where it's like, I don't care anymore. You get to the point where it's just like, you already see me as the villain, so I'm going to be that villain. Like, you don't care anymore. This is the stage where Gertie is at. She's in the I don't care stage right now. So she lets all of them leave. She does not care. Stephanie, who I like. Do I have Stephanie? I got to get these pictures. Oh, yeah, Stephanie. I like her. I miss Dr. Nicole, but I like her. Why? Because Stephanie is damn near richer than all of them. So she doesn't need to be anybody's friend. She doesn't need to kiss up to anybody. So when Stephanie finds herself being a follower, she checks herself. She's just like, why am I leaving? Like, she was leaving with everybody else. She was just like, I don't need to leave because I don't really feel like this is my problem. Like, I want to be neutral in this situation. And Alexia is just like, oh, but if you don't leave, you're not neutral anymore. And she's like, shut the hell up. Who are you? And Alexia, because she's one of the biggest trap queens in Miami, she feels like she could talk to anybody any kind of way. But Stephanie is just like, I got money to stand on that you probably never touched. So you're not going to talk to me like that. So her and Alexia get into it because Alexia is telling her that she's picking sides and that she's going to go in there and kiss Gertie's behind. And Stephanie's just like, who are you talking to? You're not talking to me. So they go toe to toe. And then Stephanie decides to stay because she's just like, I'm not picking sides. This ain't my fight. So why the hell am I leaving? So she decides to stay, but all the other girls leave. Kiki goes back and forth. The safe black. Kiki goes back and forth. But Gertie is standing her ground. Adriana, I feel like Adriana and Gertie are going to link up, probably Stephanie, because Adriana is now seeing that Julia is switching up because Julia, I hate the fact that Adriana is a friend of. She needs to be a main cast member. But she sees that Julia is now switching up. And so she's like, oh, now that you're in with Alexia and them again, all of a sudden you're throwing me to the side. Because Adriana was just like, listen, I get that, you know, everybody was upset with how Gertie did it, but then she talks to Julia and she's just like, prove yourself. Prove that what she's saying is not true. Show us your text messages. And Julia's just like, oh, I don't want to do that. She's just like, no, show your text messages. Give us your proof. Because Adriana knows who her friend is. And she knows that Julia was lying about the situation with Gertie. So I feel like it's going to be Adriana and Gertie and probably Stephanie against the rest of the ladies. And you know what? I'm here for it. It's beyond time. It's beyond time for Alexia and Marisol to get checked. It's beyond time, and I am here for it. And that is all I have to say about this. I will say we haven't talked about Stephanie, but I like her. She's a great new addition. She's not being truthful about how she met that husband, but that ain't my business. I will say this. She keeps on bringing up her sisters, right? And I'm just like, Stephanie, you seem like you're the problem. and you're trying to make your sisters out to be the problem. If you want to fix the situation with your sisters, I think you need to fix it off the show, because I don't think you're necessarily innocent in why you and your sisters are no longer talking. I would keep that off the show. But I think she's a great new addition. She has money. She stands her ground. She has some fun little one-liners. She's good. She's good on the show. She's a friend to no one but money. You need a cast member like that. But that's all I want to say about Miami. What do you guys have to say? Let's get into it. Oh wait, did I get all my super chats? I did. I got a new super chat. Thank you, Always Priceless. Always Priceless said, I wish Kelly wasn't coming back for season 17. She honestly brings nothing. Go away from me with this mess of Apollo. Oh, you are a day one Real Housewives of Atlanta fan, because only the day oneers know that. Oh, Lord. The internet said they treated Gertie terribly. I haven't been watching Miami at all. Oh, they absolutely treated her horribly. But I love the way that she fought back and stood her ground. It gives me Nicolandria. It gives me Nicolandria. They hate the way that presenting white man stands behind his black presenting wife, because none of them have that. None of them have that. And they hate that a black woman has what they think should be theirs. Hannah said, I just can't with this show. I'm over the bullying and the racism of these ladies. Absolutely. E for Empathy said, Nicole is gone where we needed her, but I respect her reason for leaving. Do y'all believe the Marisol PI rumors? Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe not only did Marisol do it, I believe she also did it for Alexia, because they wanted to have something on Dr. Nicole so badly because they couldn't take her. They couldn't take her mouth, and they couldn't take that she was young, tight, and rich, and had a man that loves her stinking draws. They hated that. They hated that she had everything that they thought that they should have. The internet said, I know all these ladies are backpedaling hard as hell, seeing how the fans are reacting. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why Julie is like, oh, I'm not coming back. Thank you. We didn't need your weird cuckoo behind on the show anyway. Miss GG88 said, Julia used them, and now that the cool girls are letting her play with them, she no longer needs them. Absolutely. Mari said, nothing can make me hate Gertie. Hoping we see Dr. Nicole back next season. Julia can go kick rocks with Martina. Messy Martina. She been messy. Definitely sideways. Definitely sideways. I don't care what's happening. As a black woman, you stand with another black woman. You stand with a black woman in her rights and her wrongs against white supremacy. How dare you? How dare you? A fellow Haitian black woman. And you standing with the Cubans? Yikes. 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 E for Empathy said, I feel for Gertie, and I'm happy she also called Kiki out. That betrayal had to hurt. It absolutely did. Give Me Shelter said, Real Housewives of Miami is about to accelerate its second pause if they keep it up. Of course, black women and men have Gertie's back, but I am seeing quite a few who turn on Cass in support of her. It happens, child. Josie said, I don't think Kiki thinks she's special because she's an immigrant. I think Kiki's the type of person to prioritize her personal interests above all and wants to remain friends with Alexia. Please forgive me if that's how it came out, what I said. I don't think that she thinks she's special because she's an immigrant. I think she believes that the Black American experience will not be her experience here in America. I don't think that she thinks that she's better. If she does, that's on her. I don't believe that, but I believe that she thinks that, oh, what's happening to them is because it's them. It won't happen to me. It'll be different for me. It's the minority thing all over again. It'll be different for me. And it's just like, it won't be, you'll get the same thing. It will be the same thing. But I do agree that she prioritizes her personal interest above all and wants to remain friends with Alexia. She wants to stay in that circle. So she's not going to protect Gertie because Gertie is bucking up against, the girls in charge. Thank you, Mama Star. Mama Star said, hey, Star family, please don't forget to like, comment, and share Nikki's video. Thank you, Mama Star. Give me something said Black Americans' inventions, brain trust, and art have been the U.S. soft power for centuries. Period. This nation runs on Black thought. We need to understand that anti-Black propaganda has been pushed by the U.S. about us just as long. Absolutely. B. Wise said, Two Peas in a podcast vindicated Gertie. Jen Fessler was on the cruise too and was a witness to the mistreatment of Gertie. Yes, I did see that. At the end of the age said, Julia makes everything about herself, including adopting those Black babes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I was just like, if that's the Black friend that you have, one, I'm not surprised, but it's not a flex that you think it is. NC said, Julia and Martina adopting two Black boys does not sit well in my spirit, especially after watching Julia assault a Black woman on national TV. Ciao. I was literally watching this episode and I got so scared when she was telling one of her, I think the oldest Black son who was holding an egg, and she had told him to be very careful. And then while they were walking, he dropped it, and she was like, "Oh!" I was like, "Oh my God!" I thought that she was going to snap out on him, spaz out on the kid. I was just like, Look, I'm praying for them. I am praying for them. Eva Empathy said, I used to love Julia, but she's been showing who she is. You'd think she would cling to Gertie for help with those beautiful baby boys, but she couldn't care less about their culture at all. Like, she's meeting with the lady who helped her adopt the boys, and she's asking her about how do you feel at, raising two sons without a father. Ask her, how does she feel about raising Black human beings? Like, why don't you ask her about that? That's huge. Josie said, and remember when Julia kicked Kiki out of her home and barred her from visiting because she was talking too loudly? Julia has a history of treating Black women poorly. Child. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen now is she's raising Black sons. Because Black children, especially in white spaces, are not seen as children. At least for a long time. They instantly become men. Especially boys. The boys instantly become men. And those Black kids instantly become violent to them. They do not believe that they are worth protecting. So I'm a little concerned. NC said the microaggressions from Martina for years towards Venus and Sarita, they are not appropriate caretakers for those boys. They'll be filling their heads with all type of self-hatred and hate towards Black women. Oh, absolutely. They're literal toddlers. Cam said, I agree. You might remember me telling you I was adopted by whites. The adoption worries me. I'm so sorry, Cam. Yes, I do remember that. It's scary. It's scary. Absolutely. Absolutely, Josie. The internet said, I also just realized this mess with Gertie and Julia started on a cruise. And of course, one of the cast trips this season is Virgin Cruise. Production is a mess. They are. Eva Empathy said, Martina said that racism doesn't exist in the tennis world and that Serena and Venus actually gained a privilege from being Black in tennis. Julia and Martina are not safe. Oh, Lord. Yeah, those men don't play about their wives, and I love that for those ladies. SCP said they wasn't giving them old women white kids. I was like, none of their family could take in those boys. Who knows, child? Who knows? Give Me Shelter said, nope. Proud of Gertie for blowing up Julia's spot in public. She threw that water in public. And Julia has been lying on her. And Gertie said, no, this is what actually happened. CM said that wasn't a celebration of life event. Gertie said that was her event from the dot for her to do whatever. She did. The show framed it as a celebration of life for whatever reason. You are right. The internet said, Martina always saying something problematic. She said that she didn't believe in surrogacy. Martina, she gives me Charles Oakley and Whiteface. That's a miserable partner. Miss Brown Sugar said, I'm glad she did it after the main portion of the event. Me too. Or so I've heard. I didn't see the episode. She did it. She did do it towards the end. Give Me Shelter said Jen Fessler was on two T's with Tamara and Dolores and said that Julia treated her funky too. Thank the Lord for Jen Fessler. I feel like Jen Fessler is auditioning for Miami because who knows when Jersey is coming back. Because I've seen Jen Fessler at a few events. So I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up on Miami. Eva Empathy said 197 in the chat tonight. Let's like and share for our girl. Thank you. NC said Martina and Julia's entire scene with the boys, Alexia and Adriana, was so calculated. Absolutely. And Lisa, you're such a great mother. Oh, I love what you're doing. I'm so proud of you. Okay. Let them boys tell it in 10 years, 10 to 15 years. They were just using those babies as props and then calling Karamo. Yep, it was all calculated. The Internet 8 said, why did everyone leave? But they all say when Julia assaulted Gertie. Make it make sense. Yep. Josie said, Julia seems like she neglected her daughters and is using these boys to undo her wrongs now that she's no longer hot in the pants. Listen, we'll see. I won't go as far to say that because I don't know that lady's business. But I did think that it was very calculated to bring up her black sons, introduce her to her black sons that she adopted, and Karamo, and then also talk about how she's a part of the LGBT community. It all looked to me as something very calculated as for her to say, look, I adopted 2 black sons, I have a black friend, and I'm gay. I can't be racist towards Gertie. Okay. Oh, of course they're going to backpedal. Of course they're going to backpedal because it didn't work in their favor. They've all seen and done worse. And I'm so glad the fan base is getting them together. Eva Empathy said, I like that Stephanie isn't afraid of the OGs. Me too. I love a newbie who isn't afraid to jump in. When she called Lisa's lateness out, I felt her. Yep. And Larsa is on her side right now because she introduced her. But I'm like, Larsa, Stephanie got a mouth for everybody. She's walking down your street soon. Shay said, Nikki, have you been seeing the season 6 Love Island drama? They're calling. Yeah, I've seen it. And I'm trying to collect more information because we're going to talk about it tonight at 6 p.m. PST. So, unique. OMG. So I'm going to get a few more and then I'm going to get out of here because I got to collect some more Love Island tea and I got to see y'all at 6. Josie said that scene where the cameramen were filming the women in the stall while Lisa was having a tantrum. And then that guy, when Lisa was on the speakerphone, that brother came in and said, excuse me, you're a little loud in the restaurant. Can you step outside? The thing that gets me is that Lisa is always doing this crying with no tears. She done Botox the mess out of her tear ducts. She can't cry. NC said, well, Nikki, this is why you need to be hosting the Miami reunion and not Andy. Thank you. Andy won't have the wits or even care enough to ask why in their mind they're villainizing Gertie and not Julia. Hopefully, we will see. We will see. Oh, God, it's a lot. Ciao. Margaret said, Nikki is on the live at 6 p.m. to go over all of Janae and Kenny T. Hold on thoughts. Thank you. NC said, the way those Karens were acting, you would have thought Britt Edie's nudes were on the screen instead of some simple text. Yep. NC also said, I don't trust Stephanie. She said on Watch What Happens Live that Gertie basically needs to get over it. What Julia said and stop holding grudges. Watch out for Stephanie. Well, she mentioned that she's not a sensitive person. She's a cold-hearted snake. She's mentioned that. So she don't got kindness for anyone. Not even her sisters. Josie said, what's worse is that Julia and Martina are from Eastern Europe countries that are wrought with unchecked racism that's arguably worse than what is seen here in the U.S. Absolutely, because they are not using to Black people standing up to them and being like, no, let me tell you something. The way you treat Black people in your country, you're not treating them like this in the U.S. So they're going to have a very hard time because these 2 Eastern European women are raising Black American boys. There are Black boys in America. So they have a freedom and an identity that they are not used to. Ciao. BY said it was Gertie's party, so I believe that since Julia assaulted Gertie publicly, she has the right to embarrass Julia publicly. Well. E for Empathy said, let's like and share our video on our way out. Can't wait to come back to hear what Nikki has to say about this Love Island USA mess. Yep. Namil said, Nikki, when you start talking about anything housewives, all I hear is your clap. I love you. Thank you all so much for joining me. I got to get out of here, child. The Love Island streets is hot. Please, any tea that you have me, send to my Instagram, which is NikkiNicoleStar on Instagram. Nikki, Nikki, Nicole, Nicole Star, STAR on Instagram. Please send it to me. I'm compiling everything right now. I had some stuff ready, but it seems like a lot of other stuff is happening. So I got to compile that information to be ready for this live tonight. Please send me everything that you have. I love you. Make sure you like the video, and I will see you soon for Love Island. Bye, guys. Lord, the streets is hot.